Hello, this is The Giver, Chapter 11, Summary and Quotes. Jonas'S training as the new receiver of memory has begun, and the current receiver has decided where to start. In this summary, we will join Jonas in Chapter 11 of Lois Lowry's The Giver as he receives his first memories. Opening information. In the previous chapter, Jonas began training for his new role as receiver of memory. Apart from knowing this position is respected and honored in his community, Jonas knew almost nothing about the job. Now, however, he has learned training will involve the current receiver transmitting all memories to Jonas, memories of all time and places, even beyond the community in which Jonas lives. Let's go sledding. Do you remember the first time you experienced snow? Many of us may have fond memories of building snowmen or getting a free day off from school due to a snowstorm. Jonas, though, has no knowledge or experience with snow. As Chapter 11 of Lois Lowry's The Giver opens, Jonas is waiting patiently to receive the memory of snow. At first, nothing feels different, and Jonas is almost worried he will fall asleep waiting. Soon, though, he realizes he feels cold, very cold. This change in temperature is surprising, but instead of being afraid, Jonas feels energized. He no longer feels the man's hands on his back, but instead feels the cold air swirling around his entire body. As so many of us have done during cold weather, Jonas sticks out his tongue, only to find tiny, cold, feather-like feelings peppered his body and face. Similar to what we might describe as an out-of-body experience, Jonas is somehow aware that he is actually still lying there on the bed in the annex room. Another part of him, however, feels himself now sitting on a hard object in the middle of the cold white material with a wet rope in his hands. Somehow he understands he is sitting on a sled in the snow at the top of a hill, all things he did not know about before now. In the middle of these realizations, the sled, with Jonas himself upon it, began to move through the snowfall, and he understood instantly that now he was going downhill. No voice made an explanation. The experience explained itself to him. Unlike our own memories, which we have because we experienced the original event, Jonas is experiencing snow for the first time through the memory itself. So many questions. Try to remember the first time you experienced something you loved. Did you feel excited? Were you excited to try again and maybe try it in a different way? This is how Jonas feels after he opens his eyes to find himself still on the bed with the old man watching him. Though tired, the man thinks he feels lighter. Now that he has given the memory to Jonas, he no longer has it. Like a grandparent, the old man is amused by Jonas's excitement and says they can probably try another sledding memory another time. He asks Jonas to lie down again so they can continue training. Jonas complies, eager for whatever experience would come next. But he had suddenly so many questions. He makes use of his new permission to ask questions. After all, wouldn't you want to know why you had never experienced such fun things as snow and sleds before? The man informs him that this particular memory is very old, from long before even the previous receiver's time. Snow, hills, none of these things were convenient for climate control, which made the climate optimal for farming purposes. And so they became obsolete when we went to sameness. Though the man agrees with Jonas's wish that they still had them, he reminds Jonas they have no power to change it. While they have honor, it's not the same as power. The next memories. There is no time to waste, and so the man instructs Jonas to lie back down for another memory. This time, however, he will not tell him what the memory is beforehand, so they can test the process. Excited for the new experience, Jonas lies down and closes his eyes. This time, instead of cold, Jonas feels warmth surrounding him. Unlike the sledding, there is no scenery. There is just Jonas, alone someplace out of doors, lying down, and the warmth came from far above. Without knowing how, he understands this is sunshine. Back in the room, he also understands that sunshine, like snow and hills, no longer exists because they now have sameness. Pleased with his progress, the man tells Jonas they can stop for the day. But Jonas is confused. Each of the memories he received were pleasant. The chief elder had specifically told him there would be pain. The man himself had said the process would be painful. Just like his amusement at Jonas's excitement was similar to a grandfather in our world, so is the man's desire to begin Jonas's training with memories that were not painful. He explains that it will be painful, but it need not be painful yet. Like many other 12-year-old boys, Jonas insists he is brave enough, and the man concedes he has the energy for one more memory. At first, the sunshine is pleasant again, but then Jonas felt the passage of time. His real self was aware that it was only a minute or two, but his other memory-receiving self felt hours pass in the sun. This time, when he opened his eyes, Jonas's skin is stinging from his first experience with sunburn. The man says nothing to Jonas's optimism that he now understands what was meant by pain. Leaving for the day, Jonas has just one more question. If he is now the receiver, what is his trainer? The man seems tired as he tells Jonas to call him the giver. Lesson summary. In this chapter, Jonas receives his first memories of experience he has never had in this community. Snow, sledding, sunshine, and even the pain of a sunburn. Though both he and his trainer wish they still had these things, at least the pleasant parts, they live in a community that got rid of them for the sake of sameness. Transmitting the memories to Jonas means the old man no longer has them, but he feels lighter. Since Jonas is now the receiver, the man is now the giver.